Okay. Okay, I'm going to get to the presentation. And before I do, I'd like to recognize my pastor. Pastor Graham just walked in and maybe you back of the head off. Fire bomb. Praise the Lord. This was Richard Wright over, over 60 years, 70 years ago. The great author Richard Wright. We black folks, our history and our present being are a mirror of all the manifold experience of America. Education objective. Hopefully we will define the traumatic stress in general and how it impacts poor inner city black people in particular. The next one we look at is the underdiagnosis and misdiagnosis of black people. And then the most importantly is the protective factors that can cause black people to what? Thrive. We have some built-in protective factors. It ain't all bad. We have some good news, but we built that way. Next. And then we're going to go over some treatment implications. Emotional scars and invisible wounds. Wars. Our current war, the war that we just ended in Iraq and the war that we're about to end in Afghanistan, the soldiers has been deployed multiple times, 3 to 4 times over a 10, 11-year period, since 9/11. And these soldiers exhibited some strange behaviors when they came home. They experienced some nightmares. They thought they was back in the war zone. They thought they was been shot at home. So they woke up screaming and hollering. Sometimes they just lost complete composure and picked up the gun and started shooting. And this is the beginning of the study of PTSD. The Veterans Administration recognized they had a problem with PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. It was always there. It was there ever since the beginning. The fellows in Vietnam, like I said earlier, I was part of the Vietnam conflict. Fortunately, I wasn't in the war. But the brothers that came off of Vietnam, they had some major problems, psychologically. But they didn't recognize it was PTSD. They never got diagnosed as PTSD. If they didn't get diagnosed as PTSD, they can't get any benefits. They would not get any benefits, they would get any treatment. So that's why it took so long. With so many people impacted by the war, the current war, they had to do something. They had to protect these soldiers when they come home. Because there was an explosive bomb, time bomb walking down the street. They knew that, so they provided treatment. Likewise, here in the city of Chicago, and all major urban cities here in America, there's likewise decades of protracted gang wars, senseless killing, high suicide rate, rape, and disregard for human life. Granted, this whole community in Chicago, hopeless, can't understand. Most of us could not comprehend the cold hardness by young people caught up in violence. People dying every day, and I hate to go into detail because it's depressing. It is absolutely depressing. Policymakers, politicians, community leaders advocate of putting more police on the street and building more prisons. But that's not the solution. If they would put the Iraqi war veterans, when they come on exhibiting the same behaviors that's been going on in our community for decades, they put them in prison. The War Board, large percentage of war veterans show signs and symptoms of PTSD. Resources are allocated for mental health screening. First thing, people had to be screened. And then if they found out they have a diagnosis of PTSD or any other diagnosis, treatment is provided. Not only for the veteran, but the family also. There's family support. There's housing provided. Employment. Let's come back home to war at home. A large percentage of inner city black community members show signs and symptoms of PTSD. The signs and symptoms are not recognized. The victim don't recognize he have a symptoms or a diagnosis, and the authorities don't recognize that they have a symptom of a diagnosis. So large percentage of undiagnosed or they've been misdiagnosed. Therefore, no diagnosis, no resources, no treatment, no family support, no housing, and no job.